go-ahead run. Here's the play. They're going to lob it to home, and it gets down, and he's out at home. Here comes the run. Play it third.
Super League Baseball Adelaide. We have this exciting baseball talent all in the one place, all on the choose. Had all the way from Pine Rivers or Pine Hills to come down and try his mark here in Adelaide baseball, maybe to get an AVL berth. Tonight's game, well look, it's a small sample size so far, just the two games, but it's the same sample against the Crushers, against the Clippers and the Carps, sorry. Suffice to say, the Crushers are going to bring the bats, the Wasps are bringing the arms.
So far, it's sort of how the teams have won it. The Wasps seem to have a very strong lineup, but it's been a couple guys that have done it a little bit, and then the arms have carried them. For the Crushers, they've got a lineup that is very strong, and through both games, they've scored 7 runs by 7 different players, knocked in by 7 different players. So they've definitely took team level to the next level.
Yeah, their depth is exceptional. And we'll see if the Wasps can hold them here. I reckon the Crushers are my favourite for tonight, only because probably I've seen the Crushers live twice, haven't seen the Wasps in the late game. Your prediction for tonight?
I'm actually going to go with the Wasps tonight. I think their lineup, I've seen them in both weeks.
Excellent.
I think they got a strong lineup. They got some veteran players, and they like the 2-0. They want to stay undefeated. They're going to come with a little more fire today.
Well, the Wasps you can see there in the gold jumpers. What's their starting lineup tonight?
Tonight you're going to have the American import Taylor Travis in center field, followed by shortstop Mitch Lightbody. In the 3-hole will be third baseman Steph the Sheriff Welch. Batting cleanup will be first baseman Austin Gallagher, followed by the DH Tyrone Bones Hambley, left fielder Jackson Bremner Russ. Catcher Tom McGarry gets another start behind the plate. Dennis Christensen moves from the outfield into second base tonight, and then youngster Tyson Arnold takes it over in right field.
For the Denmark Crushers, they'll be led off by third baseman Anthony Herrera, on screen right now. Batting in the 2-hole, second baseman Josh Cakebread. Catcher will be Landon Hernandez, batting 3. Ben Andrews in left is batting 4. Jeremy Creswell, part of that Creswell-Cakebread combo, he's at shortstop batting 5. Nick Talbot, the DH tonight at 6. 7 coming in for his first start in the Super League. It's Chris Sims at first base. Charlie Ashcroft batting 8 at right. And Matt Hutchings, he's batting 9 in centre field tonight. Todd McDonald out of that starting lineup. Chris Sims coming in.
Yeah, they've made a couple little changes this week, looking to get a little more playing time maybe for some of the players, and the veteran presence of Chris Sims in the lineup instead of the youngster Todd McDonald.
Alrighty, so we're not too far away from the start of this one. They've introduced the Crushers, the Wasps not too far away to set the scene for what's occurred. In the first week, it was the Crushers 7-1 over the Carp. That was done easily. The Wasps on the last hit of the game, beating the Clippers 4-3. Last week it was the Crushers. They led early. It finished with the timing rules after 6, beating the Clippers 7-5. And then a strange one, the late game last Wednesday, Rob, where the Wasps and the Carp only got as far as 5 before time beat them.
Yeah, the timing, there's a number of pitching changes. A lot of pitchers hit one of the rules of the Super League, they're only allowed 40 pitches or 6 outs. A lot of the pitchers ended up getting to the 40 pitches, and we had a lot of base runners throughout the game. Unfortunately, they both only got 5 innings as the game shaped up really nicely, and both teams had bases loaded a number of times, and a few little bit, Carp could have got their first win, capitalized here and there, but the Wasps pitching held off.
Well, the Crushers lead every offensive category except walks received. They're averaging 321 to the Wasps 286. Hit runs 14-7, as we'll stop now for the national anthem. wouldn't be a baseball game without a national anthem to start off, and couldn't help thinking about our under-23 squad over in Colombia at the moment, doing battle in the World Championships. Haven't quite checked out their score from earlier today, but I know I think they were 1-2, having and they're battling at the moment for the getting into the top 3 of their 16 pool, get through to that Super League round. G'day to Emily, watching us from Melbourne. Radiant C, who's a regular. Yo, Radiant C, he's watching us from Sydney. And if you are watching us live, make sure you put some comments in the YouTube chat. I've got it organised this week. I'm on the right chat to be able to follow as the game progresses. But the first big surprise for the night is the man on the hill. He's a 28-year-old Californian right-handed pitcher who last weekend was up in Brisbane for the Greater Brisbane competition, but he's here to have a 2-inning tryout, Rob, to see if he can make the Adelaide Bite squad. No pressure.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the nice aspects of the Super League this year. Is the Adelaide Bite are going to bring in a few guys here and there to get a little tryout, take a look, and see if they can find some guys. Jared Wilson on the mound. He is over with Pine Hills Lightning Baseball Club in Brisbane. He's up for the day for the tryout. 6'4" righty out of California, like you mentioned. He was University of California, Santa Barbara. And he was a 35th round draft pick of the Minnesota Twins back in 2012. So you know he does have some talent.
Alrighty, we're not too far away from getting underway here. The Wasps in the field, they are the best defensive and pitching team. Just the one fielding error thus far. Their ERA on the hill is 3. The Crushers second at 4.15. The Wasps lead the competition in runs allowed, earned runs allowed, hits allowed, strikeouts, total bases allowed, and their opponents are averaging just 150. Coming into this game. The one strange one though, Rob, is they've walked 10, so which actually puts them last in the league. So they've only given up the 6 hits, but they've walked 10.
3 minutes late already, come on.
Yeah, they're... I'm going to attribute a lot of that is going to be towards the pitchers and catchers are usually from different teams, getting a little bit used to each other, finding their good rhythm. And as we get on, this is going to be the 3rd week here. We're going to see a little more rhythm with some of the players, and as we keep going in.
Alrighty, we are set to rock and roll. It will be Anthony Herrera at the plate, Jared Wilson, and Super League round 3 is underway thanks to Black Chrome. And we hope you enjoy the coverage here on Space Quake Sports. First pitch, Herrera takes a strike. Wilson puts that one in the dirt, gets behind, but no one on base, no damage done. A 1-1 count.
So far, a couple fastballs trying to get ahead in the count. Low 90s, 91 and a 90 following up. So the young man does have a little power on.
Herrera, the #1 draft pick, 23-year-old, puts that one right down the middle. Got a cut at it, but it's a pop-up. Sets a task for the Wasp catcher, but in the end Tom McGarry was up for that. 1 away for the Crushers to get things underway.
A little awkward behind, but he got the job done there. Glad to see when you mentioned earlier comments from spectators from all over Australia, and I know there are some back home in North America watching some of their relatives here. It's Super League is growing, so it's definitely great to see. It's something new for Adelaide, and hopefully one that continues for many years to come.
Yeah, it gets really amazing when the ABL starts, and there's people watching from all over the world at all sorts of crazy times in the morning and the late night. Yeah, the baseball definitely a worldwide game, as you would well know.
A familiar face up to bat here, Josh Cakebread. Swings and misses through strike 2, or strike 1, 1-1. That the first one was high. A couple more fastballs. So far, it's been all fastballs that the young Wilson has shown the Crushers.
So Wilson, 6 years playing minor and independent ball, initially in the Twins system. The Wichita Wingnuts. As this one is hit, in the end, Gallagher has to go and fetch it, which means Wilson, well, he knows the pitch covering first base play well, and that is 2 away for the Crushers. Just set the JSR Plumbing Wasps up defensively. Around the outfield, we have the Russ in left, Taylor Travis in centre, Arnold in right. Around the bases, Stephen Welsh, where else but third, Mitch Lightbody short, Dennis Christensen second, Gallagher you just saw with the pickup there in first, Tom McGarry behind the plate, and we've got Tyron Hambley DH, Jared Wilson on the hill.
This will be a good matchup for Wilson on the hill here against Landon Hernandez. He's a staple and a veteran of the SABL and the ABL.
Ball 1.
It's like a little curveball, a little bit low down there.
So Hernandez, who had a bit of a hurl last week, pitched 5 innings in the big game, the Derby game, Henley Grange, the Rams against the Magpies. Pitched 5, 1 run allowed. But at Super League level, he'll be your man behind the plate and one of their key hitters for the Crushers. 1-1, Hernandez looks that one and is down now 1-2 in the count, 2 away. If you've just joined us, top of the first, it's a scheduled 7 innings game. But as we went last week, it doesn't always work out that way.
No, we do have the 2-hour time limit, so that we'll be definitely keeping our eye on that. Fastball just on the outside corner, Hernandez fouls off. Then we'll keep an eye on that and let our fans know as they're watching that that we do have to remind them. It is one of the new rules of the Super League that it is the 2-hour time limit. As we go, kind of let you know some of the other rules. There is the runner for the catcher to speed up the game. Pitchers are allowed to throw only 40 pitches or 6 outs, whichever comes first for them.
Yes.
Comes a 1-2 pitch. Change up. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good.
So Wilson, not bad debut here in the South Australian capital. 3 up, 3 down. We will go to the bottom of the first. Will be the Wasps up to bat. And coming up for them, it will be Travis, Lightbody and Welsh.
Thanks, good mate, how are you?
Yeah, the Crushers, you mentioned their runs, 14 runs this season, 8 players it's been spread across. Matt Hutchings, now, how often do you see it where your number 9 hitter is your leading run scorer?
Yeah, it's been a test for the Crushers lineup. The bottom of the order has set the table for the top. He's been great getting on base, whether it be a walk or hit. And then I believe he has 2 stolen bases, if not 1 for sure. He's one of the players that has run a little bit. And the guys in the top of the order have knocked him home.
So Hutchings 3 runs, Andrews, Cakebread, Herrera and McDonald 2 apiece, Ashcroft, Hernandez and Underhill 1 apiece. Interesting, the 2 guys in that starting group that haven't scored yet, would you believe it, Creswell and Talbot, 2 of the veterans, but I think Creswell has an RBI, Talbot's 2 for 5, it's not going to be far away. On the hill for the Denmark Crushers, Joel Chapman will start tonight. He didn't pitch last week. Innings 3 and 4 to open up against the Cart. 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Face the 9 batters. Pitcher with the West Torrens Eagles.
With West Torrens last year, Joel was 7-1, 3.75 in 81 2/3 innings. Doesn't walk a lot of batters, and in the offseason he actually was over in the Czech Republic playing. He played for the Olomouc Jumpers. He's pretty good numbers there as well. 3 and 6.
Just repeat that one for me. Who did he play for?
The Olomouc Jumpers.
The Jumpers.
The Jumpers.
What's their mascot? A hoodie.
I'm not sure they have a mascot over there.
Does your team have a mascot?
The one in France.
The one in France.
Yeah, we did. We were the Avaron, which is a Viking.
Okay.
So it's kind of very similar to what the Minnesota team for the Gridiron has.
All right. So we're back to here. First pitch bunt, and that will roll foul.
And pitches attempt there from Taylor Travis.
Taylor Travis, 1 from 7 thus far. No walks, 3 strikeouts across the 2 games thus far. Was the Wasp #1 draft pick number 3.
Yeah, we saw Travis as a full 2-way player last week. He did give us a hit. He has tried a couple bunts. He does have good speed. Stole a base. Came in and pitched the last inning for the save last week, and he's another pitcher. If we see him today, we're going to see some low 90s. He has a very good arm.
So that one a bit more off speed at 79. It's for the bullpen and is fouled. So that's Norton 2 now on Travis.
Gonna have to look to battle here. One of the features that Chapman does have is he does not walk a lot of batters. He only had 10 walks in 80 innings in Czech, and another 20 or 30 high 20s, low 30s in the SABL last season.
Looking to start with a strike intended to play straight to Josh Cakebread. This is bread and butter for Cakebread, and that is 1 away. Setting up the Crushers, the Denmark Crushers defensively this evening. Ben Andrews is at left. Matt Hutchings is at centre, and Charlie Ashcroft is in right. Around the bases, the #1 draft pick Anthony Herrera, followed by 2 marquee players, Jeremy Creswell at short, Josh Cakebread at second. Chris Sims, the Magpies coach, at first. Landon Hernandez from the Rams is behind the plate. He caught that one for a first pitch strike on Mitch Lightbody.
Yeah, Chapman possessing good command of the fastball. He's pounding the outside corner there. It looks like there's going to be a curveball in the outside corner for strike 2. Getting ahead 0-2. That's 4 pitches, 4 strikes so far for 5 pitches, 5 strikes if you include the ground ball.
So Chapman trying to work his way through this first innings, as this one is head to Creswell. I had to go the other side of his arm with the glove, but did that to perfection. 2 grounders, 2 outs. Going very smoothly for the Crushers thus far. Top of the first. Later on, the other game, as much as this is the battle between the 2 undefeated sides, later on, Rob, yourself and Fraser Fife, the Sweet Amber Clippers, I like that, and the Carp, both winless. One will be winners tonight.
Yeah, they're going to battle out for their first victory of the season.
Stephen Welsh looked at that once, just nicked the inside corner. So Chapman doing well to get some first pitch strikes, get ahead in the count each time so far tonight. Put that one down King William Street, and we are now, he's up 0-2 on the Sheriff, 2 out, no one has got on base yet in the 12 minutes of this game. Catcher resets. Welsh is going to put that one to the outfield. Andrews makes good position, takes that one above his head. 3 up, 3 down for the Wasps. 3 up, 3 down for the Crushers. It's the end of 1-0. This is Super League Baseball Adelaide.
Got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to the second we go. No scores yet. This is week 3 of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Brand new competition designed to help the development and highlight some of the cream of South Australian baseball talent. Pretty key at this time of the year as the new baseball SA season starts. And most importantly, Rob, players are just battling for some fairly limited spots on the Adelaide Bite ABL roster.
Yeah, with the season fastly approaching now, a couple of weeks away still, there has been a number of signings already announced, but there are a few roster spots open, and this is one of the tournaments or one of the seasons here that some of the local players are going to get a little shot, because you're going to have the best of the SABL all against each other, so especially some of the young players are going to get a chance to show what they can do.
I think one of the other keys is that the ABL has a great rule, and I hope it's still around this year, about development players when you're at home. You get to add those extra 4 kids to a roster. And this is where I guess the kids get a chance to play at that higher level and maybe say, hey, put me on that, give me a shot.
Exactly.
See what happens.
Exactly. In the past, they have had the 4. I believe. Well, we do have Chris Adamson, manager of the Bite, coming in the 3rd inning. We can talk to him a little bit about that. But I believe they've actually upped that up to 6 for this season for development players.
That wouldn't be a bad way to do it. As Ben Andrews, who last week in the 3rd, whilst we were interviewing his general manager Michael Dunn, put one over the fence.
Yeah, he showed the power that made him a high draft pick. He's over with Henley and Grage as the import player this season, and he does have that power. He had big numbers in Germany this year. He had 389 with 5 home runs, 30 RBIs.
The Solingen Alligators. Not quite as good as the Jumpers, who I'm going to look up during the week, Rob, because that sounds like a great name.
Yeah, one of the things that Henley and Grange will get out of this man, we've seen now, this is 3 games, and we've seen him in 3 different positions. He's in left field today, first base last week, DH the week before. Man that can play all over the field. From the
Linfield College Wildcats in Oregon to Germany, to a dropped 3rd strike, which McGarry will ensure is another strikeout for Wilson, who's rolling through 4 out of 4.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts on that curveball. He's got a good differential between his low 90s fastball and the high 80s curveball there. In the dirt, looks like it bites right at the end. So far, it's been impressive out of his 4 outs.
So we've got a fan. Emily is following the Wasps, number 20. And we'll have to check our roster for in a sec. As we go to Jeremy Creswell wearing the number 1 tonight, as he has through the season. Creswell slides that one as a foul. So Creswell, believe it or not, 0 for 7 thus far in Super League Baseball, looking for his first hit at this level. Has an IBI after a sacrifice, but against East Torrens, playing for the Goodwood Indians, he hit a 2-run single in the 8th. So has some form. And takes that one for another strike and is down 1-2 in the count. One out, and there hasn't been anyone on all evening.
Wilson's filling up the zone with heavy fastballs and good curveballs.
So Wilson, 28-year California, got cake bread swinging, and that is strikeout number 3 for Wilson.
He's had 5 outs so far, so he's got 1 more out to go.
Is it ever an issue where, you know, we say, look, he's 1 out away from, you know, retiring the whole side for his 6th, or is that a commentator's curse thing you don't do, like, you know, the perfect game?
I don't think it's as much of a curse as when you talk about no-hitters and perfect games for pitchers. That's when we don't want to hear about those.
So that one straight at Welsh. He picks it up cleanly. Oh, he'll be back in bite colours. Looks in ripping form. The Sheriff Stephen Welsh denies his former bite teammate Nick Talbot a hit. That is 6 up, 6 down. And for Jared Wilson, I reckon that's about as an impressive debut as you're going to get.
We need to find Paul boys.
Yeah, he definitely showed some promise. Showed why his numbers in USA, the Div 1 college there, was impressive. He threw lots of fastballs for strikes. Curveballs were tight and broke right at the end, which had guys swinging at them from everyone. And he looks like he threw like 3 balls on the day. So it's definitely a good impression. We'll hear next inning what the manager of the bite, Chris Adamson, thinks about the tryout that the young man had.
Well, a great crew, Dave Muggleton and those at Spacequake Sports, had a little bit of a play with our graphics during the week. We used to have the Voitech clock and it was counting up. And so we know that after 110 minutes there's no new innings. What we're going to do now is we're going to be counting it down. And basically, it's interesting that the countdown is from 6 o'clock, even though the game started a little late. Well, that's 3 minutes lost.
I can't do it any tighter, but it's
91 minutes gone, and we'll be keeping an eye on that, along with the Voitech pitches change, which we'll see coming up at least top of the 3rd for the Wasps, maybe sooner for the Crushers. And of course, Black Chrome giving you the Black Chrome replay. One thing for our viewers, we're going to be interviewing Chris Tank Adamson in the 3rd inning. So if you've got some questions for Tank, save us doing the hard work having to think of some. Bring them up. If they're decent, we will ask them during the coverage. Right now, we go to the bottom of the 2nd, and it will be in the 4-hole. Austin Gallagher, the marquee player from Rob Your Kensington Cardinals, up to bat.
Yeah, power hitting first baseman. Aggressive at the first ball. Great play. Pulls first baseman just off. Going to be an infield single there. Got a little aggressive. Usually Gallagher sits back and waits a little bit. Finds something that he can drive. He's lots of home runs in Germany this past season and in SABL previous season. But there he went after the first one. Got himself on base, and now it's going to be for Bones Hamley, who put one out last week.
He did indeed. And that is 2 from 5. 1 home run, which of course comes with your own IBI. 1 walk, no strikeouts thus far. Got a man on to try and get around here. Just the top of the 2nd thus far. We've got our first man on base. See if the scorers do how they record that one. It was a single to second base.
And Chapman's head 0-2 again. Just filling up the strike zone. This is what he does. Throw strikes, and gets ground balls. So definitely this is what he does best right now.
Hamley, did that one collect him on the way? No.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2 the count. Clippers and Carp coming up later, both desperate for the win. The way it works is we've got 9 Wednesday nights of double headers. Each team will play each other 3 times. The top team after those 9 games go straight into the championship game. The 2nd and 3rd team go into the prelim final for the 2nd spot. So you don't have to finish with a winning record. It's certainly not quite the percentages you have to get to make the playoffs at major league level, but you do have to make sure you don't finish bottom and you get some playoff action.
Exactly. We're getting to the third week of the season here, and one of these teams will be 3-0, one will be 2-1. And then after in the late game, somebody's going to be 0-3. That puts a little bit of pressure on when we're talking only 6 more weeks after to start winning some baseball games to get yourself up in the standings.
2-2 the count. None out, man on. Chapman's got some work to do here. Hamley sends that one deep, sends Hutching. In fact, it's going to be Charlie Ashcroft and right at the wind, bringing that one back. In the end, a pretty easy fly ball, and that is your first out for the Wasps in the second.
One of the things I'll be looking for in this game and in the next game is if either of these teams do start putting the ball more hit and runs, more steals. The time factor became an issue last week. We did only get, like we've alluded to, the 5 innings in one of the games, and one of the teams could have felt a little shorted because they didn't get their full chances. So we'll see if they start running a little more, put a little pressure on to score some runs.
Yeah, well, the Carp had men on. Just one hit, they would have had the win because the Wasps wouldn't have had a chance to bat again. But in the end, couldn't get that one final hit to make the comeback a win. Right now, we are with Jackson Brebner-Russ at the plate. He's fouled that back. Brebner-Russ pitched in the 6th and 7th innings, 2 innings against the Clippers. Didn't pitch last week. Of course, he's with the Sturt side. One of the 4 marquee players, along with pitcher Tom Fitzgerald, Austin Gallagher, and who else but the Sheriff, Stephen Welsh, as Brebner-Russ has got swinging at that one. Goes down 1-2.
Bite fans are going to see Brebner-Russ a lot this year out of the bullpen. He'll be pitching a number of innings for the Bite, but locally and here in the Super League, he can swing the bat, and today's in left field. Taylor made a little crossbone cake bread 6-4-3 like they've done a million times to end the inning.
We've seen that plenty of times. So whilst Gallagher got on, he was part of the double play out, and we go to the third. This is, thanks to Spacequake Sports, Super League Baseball Adelaide.
Their specialised knowledge, ability to deliver and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Good evening, Super League fans. Welcome back to the Dunmark Crushers versus the Wasps, 0-0. Here we're on the top 3rd inning. We're joined by Adelaide Bite manager Chris Adamson. Thank you, Tank, for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
So, early impressions. We're in the 3rd week of the season. What do you like about the Super League?
Oh, there's a lot of things to like. Firstly, the colours are really nice, but the fact that there's really good quality games. 2 of them on a Wednesday night has just been outstanding and exposing guys to maybe a higher level of competition than some of them may be used to. So it's been really exciting to see them develop from an individual standpoint and the league continue to grow.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the exciting things for some of the younger players. From the Bite aspect, are you using the league here as one of the contributing factors to helping maybe pick a final spot here or there from week to week, or some of the development players?
Absolutely. There's a lot of competition for spots this year, which is a great predicament to be in, and all of the guys are out here not only getting extra at bats or extra innings, but they're actually vying for a spot on that team for the opening weekend and beyond. So to being able to see them get some more quality opposition is something that's been really, really good, and it's really given us some good information as to where they are at this point in time.
Here we do have a Wojtek pitching change here. It looks like Andrew Chesterton's come in to pitch for the Wasps this inning. He's definitely throughout this is his third week he's been in each game. He throws lots of strikes. Doesn't throw overly hard, but he seems to get guys out. He is a player that came over from the Melbourne area, joined the SABL this year, and I believe he's also looking for an opportunity maybe for one of the final spots in the bullpen as well. Yeah,
absolutely. He's really impressed. There's been a couple of guys that might not have necessarily been on the radar at the start and have just continued to get guys out here, which is great, and it makes us take notice. And he's been one that's just pounding the zone and being really efficient and effective with his pitches. So it's been good to watch him develop.
There's a little looping fly ball down the right field line. See if it stays fair. Just foul outside of the reach of Austin Gallagher. Speaking of guys looking for a tryout, starter that we had for the Wasps tonight, Jared Wilson, young American. He's up in Brisbane playing with a local club. He came up for the tryout today. You guys, yourself and Nathan Davidson, take a look at him there. What were your impressions on how he threw today?
I mean, it came out of his hand pretty nicely. He was 90 to 93 with the fastball, which is a bit more velo than we're used to seeing here, which was good, and a few tight little breaking balls too. So he's a guy that moving forward, could be a chance to really help us, and we'll continue the dialogue there and see what happens.
Yeah, he definitely impressed. I think some of the SABL locals around here with some of his fastballs there, and then that tight slider they kept throwing in the dirt had them swinging at them.
Absolutely.
Looking forward into the bite season. What are your outlooks for this year? What are the plans? What are the goals?
Well, I guess moving into the season, so it's the beginning of the off season, we just had a few focus areas, and we really want to increase in speed, which is something that we managed to do with the additions of the Aaron Whitefield's as fast as you get, and a couple of our imports can really burn as well. So that's something that is going to be exciting to see when it all gets put together here in a few weeks, and just how young and exciting the group is. We've got some of the best young talent in the country in our own backyard with the Jordan McArdles and the Curtis Meads, and then adding in, the likes of Mitch Edwards and Aaron Whitefield and those types of guys. It really gives an opportunity for us to develop a great young core group of Australians that we can continue to build up for an extended period of time. So that's something that is just going to be really, really exciting moving forward.
Yeah, we had a single there by Charlie Ashcroft just under the glove of Austin Gallagher. Runners going first to third. The young baseball club you have for Adelaide is definitely one of the features that should be exciting for fans this year, as I believe there's at least 5, if not 6 or 7, that are on this under-23 club participating over in Colombia, is doing very well, that are a part of the Adelaide Bite team.
Yeah, so I think we've got 6. Chris Horns, he flew from Switzerland to meet that team there, and then we've got a couple of the other homegrown guys with McArdle and Hutchings. Then we've got Edwards and Whitefield that are key contributors on that team also. So it's just it's a really exciting time for baseball in this state. With like this league. This league's been really well received across the board, and the ABL team coming together quite nicely too, so it's an exciting time to be around the game.
Yeah, I know. I did mention a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this under-23. I was quite surprised about Whitefield and Edwards being on it, and it wasn't because of their talent; it's because of their age. Yeah. I did not think they were as young as they were, as the years of pro baseball they've had over with affiliated teams in the major leagues.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of the time too, you underestimate how young guys actually are. I know that seems a little bit funny to say, but I mean, Jordan McArdle took on somewhat of a seniority role last year, and he's only 20 years old, so it puts things in perspective, and it makes you really take note of, the fact that they are just kids and they're still learning the game themselves. So it's something that to see where they're at that age is something that's really special, and it's really, it's going to be amazing to see them continue to grow and develop.
There's a double down the line by another youngster, Matt Hutchings, who last year spent a lot of time out in, I believe, the Queensland area with the MLB Academy. and definitely improved his game. We talked about him earlier, and he just scores runs for this Denmark Rushers team. He's on base all the time and can do a lot of things in the outfield versatility-wise. Now, we alluded a little earlier, we talked about, Phil and I were speaking about the 4 development players. Have I heard correctly that it's going to be going up to 6 this year for the home games?
Yes, it'll be 6. So it's, I mean, the one you just mentioned, Matt Hutchings, for me, he's just gone from strength to strength. It's a guy, I've seen him for the last few years, obviously, in the state league, and he's someone, I mean, physically, that's an impressive looking body he's got going. He's now growing into it in terms of how it moves, and, you know, he's a sneaky good athlete. Like, he can go and get it in the outfield, and he's done some really good things base running too, so he's someone that's really pushing the envelope to get some game time this year, which is great to see a local product really, you know, develop in front of your eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen players throughout this league. I know there's a few pitchers. There's one warming up in the bullpen that we'll have to talk about a little bit next inning when he gets in, is Tom Fitzgerald, another young arm who's got a little bit of a cannon on the end of it there that Bite fans may get a little bit to see this year.
Yeah, he just signed his first contract with us just yesterday, actually. So
perfect.
That's like a reward for him. And to be honest, not knowing too much about him, and he was a late starter to the game. He only started playing baseball at the age of 14, and to see where he's at now, and like his arm, he's 24 years old now, which is, you know, in baseball terms, it's particularly in Australia, people can say it's a little older, but I mean, his arm's got very low mileage on it, you know, so it's someone that just continues to go from strength to strength, and I'm really excited to see him come out of the pen and see what he can give from that aspect.
It's a high fly ball in the infield. Christensen camps under it, makes the easy play for the second out of the inning. We did have a sac fly to center field, in which Travis threw to third on that one. Taylor Travis is another young man who's got a big arm in center field. American import with the West Torrens team this year. Is there anything in the do you get a chance to see any of the SABL, or are you just too busy with all your work with the Bite?
Yeah, I get to look as much as I can, but that's again the beauty of this league. It gives us the opportunity to really, you know, keep an eye on guys and, you know, really, you know, prioritise the guys that we want to see. And this is, again, they're all in one location here and playing against the other best players in the state. So that's a way to really, you know, open our eyes and see how they compare to the guys that they'll be competing against.
Right, and I do like we alluded earlier to the players that come out, a little bit of a tryout. It's something else nice that the Super League will be able to do with the rosters, kind of players from all over the place, all over teams. You do get a chance to maybe see someone that you normally wouldn't ever see.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's where, you know, this league's actually getting quite a bit of attention on a worldwide basis. I know that sounds extreme, but I mean, you'd be familiar with the baseball jobs overseas, and the founder of that and myself have some relatively consistent dialogue, and he's keeping a really close eye on this, and he's going to be trying to get as many guys into this league as possible moving forward. So that in itself is only going to help baseball as a whole in this state. The stuff that's just, I think that the benefits can be endless if we do things the correct way.
A little 2-out single there with Landon Hernandez getting the job done and giving his team another run. We do have one of the speed-up rules enforced here for the Super Leagues, for fans that are watching kind of maybe wondering what's going on. Landon Hernandez is staying in the game to catch, but with 2 outs, he does come out for a bench runner just so he can kind of get ready quicker so we can speed the game up and move it along. Are there any new rules that fans should be interested in for the ABL this season that's come about?
Not too much, to be honest with you. A lot of them go in line with any of the tweaks that happen at the major league level. So really, that's pretty much the only thing. The big one, as you mentioned earlier, the development players, which is just it's a great initiative from the ABL. It allows the homegrown talent to get exposed at that level.
Another drive by Ben Andrews. That one is going to be up and over the fence for his second home run in the last couple of weeks. Another one that he got up and under, and that young man has lots of power.
That was a nice swing.
And we've seen him now 3 games, 3 different positions, couple home runs. Definitely the pitcher hangs one over. You don't want to do it to Ben Andrews. He's hitting in the 4-hole for a reason for the Dunmore Crushers.
Yeah, he's done really well. Being a relatively unknown when he got over here, he's just going from strength to strength.
Yeah, he had some, you alluded earlier to the baseball jobs overseas guys. Dave Burns running that program. He's one of the guys from the Americans that got a lot of playing time in Europe this past year in Germany and Solengren, and now he's found his way into Australia. That is something that we've seen over the last few years. I mean, it's how I got here a few years ago, and I keep coming back every year.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, we want to establish as many pipelines into Adelaide as we possibly can, and that's where, you know, the state league, with only being able to have one import, this is potentially a way that more imports can get some game time here, and we can continue to expose the people of Adelaide and South Australia as to the great game of baseball and how high quality it can be.
Looks like we had a nice fly ball there by Jeremy Cresswell to end the inning. I want to thank you, Chris, for joining us, Inning. I'm sure we'll get to see you a little bit around here and get you up here another week or so as maybe we get closer to the bite season, and we'll talk a little more straight about the bite and what we're going to see from them once the roster gets formalized and you guys are ready to go.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Welcome back, folks. Well, you step aside and the avalanche of runs begins. Thanks to Chris Tank Adamson for joining us, giving you an insight on the bite. Hard to believe it's only a few weeks away now. I reckon 3 if my count's right. 3 weeks tomorrow, as now all of a sudden the Wasps decide, hey, we better get into this hitting thing.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
A single by McGarry to right gets the the bottom of the third underway. I always get a little bit lost what's top and bottom with these two neutral sides when you don't have an actual home team to base yourself on. G'day to Ken, g'day to Rodney, great to have you on board. Emily, enjoying Chesterton involved there. Glenn Long, our good mate with the TV broadcast guru up in Brisbane. G'day to you, Glenn. Hope you're sitting back, relaxing, enjoying some Wednesday night baseball. The Crushers have come out. The game is now on their terms. The top hitters in the league. They've got some runs, and now the Wasps have got some chasing to do.
Yeah, we'll see if their powerful lineup has a little thump in it. They're now at the point where they got to start getting some runs here. They got to start chipping away. They're down 5. They give up 5 that last inning, and once again, the Crushers did it with the whole team involved.
So Christensen 0 for 5, but has a couple of runs. We may have a run down at second. Safe, didn't get him. The throw was a little on the high side by Chris Sims. Caprid had to go up and get it and could not get down in time. As we'll see the black chrome replay.
Sorry, a little stutter there by the runner. He got caught going a little too far, but then bad throw from the first baseman, and the runner did the right thing, went on the inside and was able to get there safely.
Yeah, throw on the outside, ran on the inside. In the end, great to see that replay right down the first baseline. You could clearly see that he was safe by a long, long way. So none out, it's a 2-2 count, and all of a sudden, the Wasps are threatening to score. And this is their leadoff man. That's McGarry at second. Although that's a pinch hitter. That is not Tom McGarry at second.
No, it was that speed up rule that we talked about at the top of the inning when Landon Hernandez got on. Tom McGarry being the catcher, so we do have a runner in for.
It is Christensen at the plate, as mentioned, looking for his first hit. Part of the Goodwood Indians side, the South Australian Baseball League Division 1 premiers. Picked in the 7th round at number 27. Averaged 263 for the Indians last year. Part of a whole bunch of Indians across the 4 teams. That one is fouled. That looks to be in the field of play if it sits. Sims looking to redeem himself from the throwing error, makes the catch. And McGarry holds, or McGarry's pinch runner, whoever that may be, holds at second.
It looks like it's actually one of the Japanese, it's not an import because he's a student here. I'm gonna
Suzuki or Scott?
Sachiro Suzuki, player from the Henley and Grange team, a young man who was with the I believe it was the under 18 Adelaide State team 2 years ago. So he definitely has the baseball experience around Adelaide. He's another one of the young players coming up, getting an opportunity in the Super League.
Yeah, studying at the Seton High School, which is a well-known baseball, I don't know what you call it, baseball factory doesn't quite sound the right term, nursery. But then it's high school. I don't know. We'll work on that one. Come on. We have at the moment Tyson Arnold, who is now up to bat, up to hit. There's a swing and a miss at that one. So
1-2.
interesting game. The first 2 innings, everyone went down in regulation. Wasp got one on, but a double play erased it all. Then, change of pitcher, the Wojtek called to the bullpen, and the Crushers went bang. Capped off by Andrews' 2-run jack. And now Arnold has struck out. We go to the top of the order, Jayla Travers with 2 out. Trying to get this man home.
Yeah, we'll see if the Wasps can get him home. This is one of the aspects of their game they've had a hard time with the first two weeks, is cashing in runners in scoring position. They are 2-0, but they've also had very small goal game scores. There's a line drive down the left side, just going to fade foul into the bullpen.
Thanks to the wonderful work of our Spacequake Sports centre field camera. Can confirm that is number 7 out there at second base, which is Suzuki. Who's hasn't had an at-bat yet, but is right in the middle of the action, literally, at second base. It's another foul pitch. 0-2 now on Travers. The Wasps down 0-5. And if you're a Crushers fan, you like this lead.
Right.
Wasps haven't scored more than 5 thus far this series.
Ball.
Takes a ball. So who do we have on the hill, given they've had a change of pitcher as well?
It's a good take there by Travis. Pitcher came in high inside, trying to get him to go around. Kept himself back. There's another curveball high. Even the count at 2.
So Josh Tyndall on the hill for the Crushers.
Young man now to start. He pitched last weekend for the Crushers as well. Had a little bit of time on the mound. Here he is again, looking to put up another 0 for his team. Travis looking to spoil that with a single to get his Wasps on the board.
Yeah, okay, got the one hit, just the 1-1 as that one is line drive to centre. Sets Hutching a task, but he gets back in time. That'll be the 3rd out. So the Wasps get the leadoff man on, but cannot bring them home. We will head to the 4th. It is the Dunmark Crushers 5, the JSR Plumbing Wasps 0.
Got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back, folks. Here we are. It's a 5-0 game in the top of the table clash The Crushers, after 2 scoreless innings, went bang in the third, the highest scoring inning we have seen thus far in competition history. Let's see what they can do here, as I believe we've got a new pitcher on the hill for the Wasps, who we'll identify shortly.
Yeah, it's the tall young man out of the Kensington Cardinals organization, Tom Fitzgerald. Tank and I were talking about him a little bit. It's one of the young players. He just signed his contract yesterday with the Adelaide Bite. It's his first contract with the team, so congratulations to him. And Bite fans are going to get a chance to see a lot of him this year.
Well, it makes a bit of sense. He was the only pitcher to start week 1 and week 2 in the competition. Gave up the 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. 5 strikeouts doesn't sound like a lot, but of course you only have 6 outs to deal with. So if you've struck out 5 out of 12 outs, that's not a bad percentage drop. As we get underway, top of the 4th.
And here we have Nick Talbot up again. Grounded out to third his first time up. It'll be a fastball inside, strike 1. But this is one of the fun parts of the Super League. We got 2 teammates that normally are together against each other right here.
I want to say good day to Lockie Cunningham, who's a Crushers fan all the way from up at Gawler.
0-1 fastball on the outside corner. 0-2.
So don't forget, you're watching live on the YouTube chat. We've got the chat up and running here. We'll check it every so often. Say good day. If you've got a question, if I stuff something up, please let us know.
Ball.
He falls with another fastball. Gets it out purposely out of the zone. Want to go up. When you're up 0-2 as a pitcher, you generally want to go up or down. You know, it's something that's not really hittable.
Just
and now look for
in the middle.
Off-speed pitch here. Big curveball. Keeps it inside.
2-2.
Even the count at 2-2.
So Talbot, you can see the cardinal on the helmet there. Kensington boys will give you a little bit of an update of the scores around baseball. I know you can't wait to share the results from the weekend, Rob.
Ground ball. Short, up, and over to first for the easy. 6-3 out. Yes, unfortunately, it was an extra inning affair, but we didn't come out on the good end in Kensington this year. Or this week. We got lots of weeks. So we had after a bye week, we'll come out a little bit stronger next week, hopefully.
Yeah, you got to Dylan Brammer of Southern Districts early on, then he settled down. It went to the 10th. Todd McDonald, who of course hit the first home run here in Super League history, hit one in the 10th to put the Hawks up, and they got the win at Kensington, which gives them a 2-1 record. Some of the other scores: Goodwood beat East Torrens 9-3. Glenelg beat Northern Districts 6-1. West Torrens on the winners list first time this year, 11-5 over Golden Grove.
Ball 2.
And second pitch outside, 2 fastballs outside. Chris Sims up there again. He started last inning off with a walk, leadoff walk, and then they overrupted the doors. Fitzgerald's looking to get back in here.
Ball 3.
Fastball missing inside.
The other 2 goals, the local derby up at Westlake Shore. Port Adelaide beat Henley and Grange 11-2. Herrera with a big run as part of that. And the Adelaide Angels got win number 1 for the season. They beat up on the Senators 10-7. So there's a few buys in here just to make it tricky. But Port Adelaide are on 3-0. Sturt, Glenelg, Goodwood and Southern Districts have 2 wins. Northern Districts, Kensington, Golden Grove, Henley and Grange, East Torrens, West Torrens and Adelaide 1 win. The Senators, the sole winless team at this point.
That's another foul ball. You grab that one.
Yeah, they're off to a slow start right now. They did get one of their star players, Gary Owens, back from Germany this week, so I would expect them to turn things around for the future weeks. We got a payoff pitch, 3-2, and just up and in off the shoulder of Chris Sims, and that'll be a hit by pitch.
Some of the baseball SA action this Sunday at various grounds. Sturt, after the bye, will travel to Weagle Oval to play the Adelaide Angels. Kensington, your Cardinals, head north to play East Torrens, the Red Sox. Big game, always a big game, these 2. Glenelg at Goodwood. West Torrens head north to take on the Reds of Northern Districts. Golden Grove travel to the undefeated Port Magpies. Woodville will be looking for their first win, but they're facing the Red Hot Hawks of Southern Districts.
Yeah, fans of all those teams, definitely get out to see your games this week. We do have a week. There's fastball right down the middle, get ahead, strike 1. We do have double headers this week in the SABL, so there are lots of games. The first ones will be at 2:30 for the first game, and then the second game every week will be at 5 p.m. So if you can't make the early one, be sure to come down for the early evening at whichever oval you can make it down to. And you've had a chance. I mean, it's suburban ball, but each ground is a little bit unique. Outside of the grounds where you've coached at yourself, any grounds that you enjoy visiting? They've got, you know, good barbecue, hot dogs, or drinks, or atmosphere viewing. What takes your fancy around the grounds? It's nice to see everybody's got a little something. Ours pitch just to the screen, not be able to handle this little. I was outside of the catchers for a wild pitch. Move Sims up to second base. Everybody seems to have their own little unique parts of the field. I do love the hot dogs up at Northern District's Walkley's Field there. They're a little bit different. That
balk and advanced.
We have a balk called on Fitzgerald there.
So 1 out, and Sims is 90 feet away, adding to this 5-0 scoreline. So, I mean, I'll confess I've only been to a couple of. I've been to Southern Districts. They've got some nice undercover viewing areas and a really nice hill behind home plate. You can sit there and you feel like not quite as high as we are here, but similar. You are basically right behind the home plate umpire, getting a great view of everything. Yeah, that's one which the fans can get right on top of the catcher. I've played a couple games there as a catcher, and I've definitely heard the fans behind me, which is a good fun part of the baseball game. Wasp brought the infield in here. Little chopper back to the pitcher. Fitzgerald steps, makes a throw over to first for the easy first out for the second out of the inning. Apologies. And probably most importantly, because it was infield, it just held Sims up. So important to keep that one on the ground and in the infield and try and deny the Crushers a 6th run. Here we go to Matt Hutchings, their leading run scorer coming into tonight, and he has been very, very good. 10 RBI at Baseball SA level last year, again part of that Hawks lineup. Southern Districts. He's found that one into right. If that drops, that's a run. It does, and it will score Sims. Hutchings is being ambitious for second, and no. Oh, wasn't much in that. Hutchings thought he was going to have a word there for a moment. A great throw there for the right fielder, and that we'll look on the replay here. That might have been even a better sell job by shortstop Mitch Lightbody on the tag there. So here's the black chrome replay.
We're setting your attention to the video board.
He's got long
definitely
arms.
much Hutchins. Nat Hutchins stayed hot right there. Did his job, got himself a single. The run was already in, looking to get the extra base with 2 out. Aggressive play, you can do that when you're up, and now they've extended the lead to 6-0 now. So there is a little bit of a quirk that for baseball novices, and I'll throw myself into this one. Normally, you don't score a run when there's a 3rd out. Okay, so if that had been a fly ball in court, there was no way Sims has scored. So correct. What is the logic of the fact that Sims scored whilst there was an out occurring? Well, it was a base hit, so it's already a safe play. Sims has scored. If he was walking home, we'll say, and Hutchins was called out at second before he crossed the plate, then he wouldn't score, and the run wouldn't count. But he ran home, hard on the single, scoring the run. And now the runner is kind of free to do what he wants on the bases. There you got a little adventurous. So I guess the logic is that basically, as soon as he hit that, because it wasn't a fly ball, Sims could take off. Normally in a fly ball situation, he can't take off until it's caught. And so, yeah, okay. I think I understand it, but I'm very glad you're here this evening. Yeah, no, it's a good aggressive play. It's one that a coach will be happy and about Hutchins with that performance. So that would be still considered a sacrifice RBI then? It'd be a single. It'd be a safe hit single, and then just an out trying to stretch it into a double. Okay, single RBI. Okay. Yeah, and here we have the young Mitch Lightbody, who returned to Adelaide after spending last season away in college. Flares one over the first baseman Chris Sims' head as he crashes into the fence. Can't make the play. Yeah, I was thinking after 2 innings that you're trying to see on whose terms this game was being played. Initially, definitely on the Wasps with no one on or double plays and
very defensive. Then the Crushers went bang, and now, yeah, they're looking the goods to go 3-0 to start the first round robin series, as Lightbody had to get out of the way of that one in a hurry.
Yeah, it's another 0-2 pitch that the pitcher wants to miss up or down. That one he chose to miss up. Got a little higher than what he wanted. You do want a competitive pitch that a batter might want to think about swinging at, but you don't want something that he can hit hard.
Speaking of hit hard, that one's got through cake bread and hit into the right, and Mitch Body is on.
Yeah, a little single on the outside corner, curveball that got just outside that he kind of poked out to right field for a little single here, and they need base runners, so look for them for the middle part of the order here. You got the power hitting Stephen Welch and Austin Gallagher up next. They're going to be looking to hopefully put the Wasp team on the scoreboard and cut into that 6-run lead.
Hit-wise, it's a pretty even game. Crushers have 4 hits, but they've got 6 runs out of them because you had a walk, you had an error, as Hernandez had it and lost it. And you can see he's just not impressed with that.
Yeah, he knows he should have had it, but lucky for the Dungmar Crushers, it was in foul territory. They'll get another chance to get Welch out here.
So Owen, that was just the first pitch. Owen won the count, none out. Wasps have the leadoff man on, as they did last inning. Ooh. And that one has got Welch just above the kneecap, and that'll leave a bruise.
Yeah, trying to come inside. Just hooked it a little bit on his throwing fingers and came a little too far inside. Got the veteran on the inside of the knee.
Well, here's a chance for the Wasps. The one of man who got the lead-off hit, Austin Gallagher, a single through second at his first at-bat. Another hit here, and the Wasps might be on the board. Looked aggressively at that one, but it was way too outside. Let that go, and is that 1-0 in the count?
Yeah, 10 little bit wide with that one. Gonna need to attack the zone. He does have a 6-run lead. He's got to get outs. He doesn't want to keep throwing the ball where you're going to put up a crooked number for the Wasps.
And that one low, make that 2-0. We haven't talked about the conditions tonight, Rob, really, because there's nothing outstanding about them. It's just a pleasant night for some baseball.
Yeah, this is the nicest night out of the couple of weeks we've had for the Super League. It's beautiful, sun setting just over to our right here. Nice little shadows on the field. Nothing to play, no wind. It's a great night for baseball.
2-0 the count. That one on the inside of Gallagher. He's got the pitcher exactly where he wants him at the moment. This is the best scenario that the Wasps have been in all night.
Be a 3-0 pitch, see if he looks to ambush something or just get more base runners.
Tries to find it. Gets through first. That will bring one. It might even bring 2. Welsh will hold at third. But Lightbody is crossed home plate, and the Wasps are on the board. We'll see if they mark that as an error for Sims or a single to right. I suspect, if I had to guess, Rob, and I do only guess at these things, that might be an error on Sims.
Yeah, it looks like they put an error up on the board. Tricky little hop, but as a first baseman there, you got to be able to corral that ball, just get behind it and make the easy out. Good job from Steph Welch running first to third on the play. And Lightbody scoring.
See the black chrome replay there. Lightbody, he's always got wheels on him. Coasted home with plenty of time to spare. And that'll give the Wasps hierarchy and team a bit of a breather that they're no longer facing a shutout scenario here. I think they scored 4 runs in week 1, 5 in week 2. It looks like we've got a change of pitcher happening out there at the moment, as we've got a beautiful, actually 21.2 degrees, if you don't mind, at the moment.
I will certainly take that. Yeah, we do have another Wojtek pitching change. Looks, until I see a number, it looks like the young man from Woodville, it is Jordy Gross taking the mound again. He's got good numbers in the Super League. He's had, I believe, 4 innings of nothing.
Yes. Where nothing is exactly what you want to have.
Where it's good for a pitcher.
Well, yeah, he's pitched 4 innings. He's given up 2 hits, just the 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts facing 15 batters. done the job. Done the job. And I mean, when you're a highly offensive team, and I mean that in the attacking sense that the Crushers are, you know, giving up a run here or there is not the problem when your batters are, you know, putting 6-7 up on the board every inning.
Yeah, they'll be looking for Gross to come in and put out the fire here. We got 1 run in, runners on the corners, nobody out, and Wasps really have been struggling. They've had a few runners on throughout the game, haven't been able to cash it in, and now that they got the one, there's a saying in baseball that you just open the door a crack, and the floodgates could open after that. So the Wasps are hoping to get him something big this inning.
Well, the Wasps have given the Crushers a big head start here. Can they wheel them in here? Again, great opportunity with 2 on, none out. And the Sheriff 90 feet away from their second run. Tyrone Hamley comes to the plate. Geordie Gross. Hamley, the West Torrens player, Gross from the Senators of Woodville.
The fly ball to center field, dropping, and Hutchins gonna get to it. Tagging is Welch, but he doesn't come home. Hutchins has a good arm, wasn't hit overly deep. He was able to track it down in center field and for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, because Hutchins did well, one, to get there. It was if he got there, it was never going to be a run because he was attacking home plate and he threw the ball in the correct position. Didn't throw it at home plate, threw it in front of home plate where Hernandez would have met Welsh, and it would have been all over probably about 2/3 of the way down that third baseline.
Yeah, it's one of the aspects of being down by a few runs that you can't get super aggressive with your base running. There's a low curveball goes in for strike 1.
Jackson Brebner-Ross, 6-4-3 double play. He'd into last time around. He got victim of the Creswell cake bread combo. See what he can do here down a strike. That one well and truly on the outside. 1-1 evens up. Just joined us, Super League Baseball Adelaide here with Phil Hurd and Rob Ushie.
Yeah, Brebner-Ross will be looking to get himself base hit, get another RBI in for the Wasp team. I think it looks like a change up on the inside. 2-1, he's getting himself into a good hitter's count.
Yeah, you get the feeling, I mean, opportunities in a 7-innings game come rarely. And this is a big one for the Wasps, the JSR Plumbing Wasps. Great, they've got a sponsor on board now. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, it's nice to see a few of the sponsors joining in. Denmark Crushers were the first to get it. JSR Plumbing, Wasps. There's a fly ball, another fly ball hit deep center field. Hutchins will just coast to camp under that one for the final out. The second out.
Second out, which means we're going to have a play at the plate. The throw fell short. And in the end, runners advance, and the Wasps have run at number 2. And yeah, very important that was just the one out, or else innings all over. So sacrifice fly to Brebner-Ross brings home Welsh, and we've got ourselves now a 4-run ball game. And we've still got Gallagher, who moved up in all of that mayhem. He's now on second, so another runner in scoring position is Tom McGarry, who's already got a hit tonight, comes to the plate.
Yeah, McGarry's had a few hits each of the weeks there. Looking to continue. Good base running there by both Welch and Gallagher to move up on the sac fly, as it turns out. George gets ahead of McGarry, strike 1 with a curveball.
McGarry 2 from 4 thus far in Super League, 1 RBI. Goes down 0-2 in the count, so for Geordie Gross, he might give up the run. It wasn't his run in terms of an earned run position. He's 1 strike away from limiting the damage to just 2. This one is head. Welsh has got to avoid it. Well picked up by Creswell with Welsh in the way. And there's your third out. And that'll do it for the Wasps. Not before they edge themselves back into the contest with 2 runs. That'll do it for 4. This is Super League Baseball. Thanks to Space Quake Sports.
Specialised knowledge, ability to deliver and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
SA Power Networks are proud to sponsor the Adelaide Bite and baseball in South Australia for yet another season. SA Power Networks, they're strong corporate citizens with a real connection to local communities through various groups, sports, organisations and community clubs. Please get involved and congratulate SA Power Networks for their continued support. They are the longest running sponsor in SA baseball. They'll be back for another year of supporting the Adelaide Bite. And what a huge ABL season coming up. We've got a taste of it speaking to Take Adamson. Things getting exciting now. Players signing, imports coming everywhere, happening all over the ABL. And that new 8-team league just over 3 weeks away.
Yeah, we're back here in the Super League though. Top of the 5th inning, 6-2 for the Dunmark Crushers over the JSR Plumbing Wasps. Tom Fitzgerald into his 2nd inning of work here.
Wait.
And fastball misses up.
So we're back to the start of the order in the 5th. Herrera. I think this one's going to be going pretty close to the 7. We're just 67 minutes in. Herrera hits that one straight to Gallagher, who will do his own laundry. And that's one away. Of course, all the replays today, thanks to Black Chrome. They are the Super League Baseball Adelaide's official apparel provider. They're also the most reliable baseball supplier in Australia. You can visit Black Chrome online and experience the exceptional quality, service and reliability for yourself. Go visit blackchrome.com.au.
And fastball just outside. Josh Cakebread up to bat. Looking to get involved in the offense here. So far a little 3-1 pitcher put out and a pop up to second base. Big swing and a miss there by Cakebread on fastball, even as a count 1-1. So far with the Crushers, 6 runs. They have it on 4 hits. They've taken advantage of some of the walks and hit by pitches that the Wasp pitching has provided for them.
Well, there's been 1 walk, 1 error, 1 hit by pitch, and they've all ended up ending up in runs.
Another big swing and miss on a high fastball.
1-2.
And again, 1 to 5 different players for the Crushers' 6 runs. They love to spread the load. 1-1 count. That one is hit over the left field bleachers.
Cakebread follows off another good fastball. Yeah, that's been the staple that the Crushers have used for 3 weeks now, is spread the offense out and get everybody involved.
Yeah, and I think the fact is they got them all, bar the 1 run, the 5 of them in a bunch. You know, and that's always key. I mean, you often see a team, they might have a hit here and a hit there, but if they don't get them in a bundle, very hard to get the runner around unless you put something over the fence.
Yeah, they opened the door and knocked a bunch in. Let's see if he goes back to the fastball after that slow curveball. There's another fastball that Cakebread's able to foul off down the first base side this time. Stays alive, 2-2.
Copy.
2-2, 1 out. 6-2 ball game here to open up week 3 of Super League Baseball Adelaide. The Clippers, the Sweet Amber Clippers, and the Carp will do battle in the 8:30 game. That's 8:30 Adelaide time. You can work out your time zone conversions from there. Very complicated time of year in Australia now because, as you know, Rob, some states have daylight savings, some don't. 5 different time zones across the country. I think only Russia has more at this time of year. We've got a walk for Cakebread. He'll get on base for the first time today. Second walk, the Wasps given up, and for Fitzgerald, that's his second walk to go with 5 strikeouts thus far in Super League.
Yeah, we do have Landon Hernandez coming up. So far, he struck out in the first inning against the impressive-looking Jared Wilson when he was in, and then an RBI single in his second at bat in the 3rd inning. We do have some action down in the bullpen for the Wasps.
Oh, this will, yes, because I think Fitzgerald might have come in an inning early, so the Wasps will have to Well, they always have to use 4 pitches at the least, and one of them at the most can only go 1 innings. Now, of course, they can go shorter and use more pitches, but so far I think every team has only used the 4 in every game thus far. Some have come in early.
Fastball Hernandez is just behind a little bit.
There's
Ball straight back.
This is baseball done differently with the speed up rules and the fact that it's, you know, this cream of talent that all come together and play, you know, with the pitch counts. We just don't get a gist of the impact that has on things.
Yeah, well, the pitchers do only get 6 outs or 40 pitches. And they still have to earn their way through that. We saw Wilson had 2 clean innings, and then they brought in Andrew Chesterton, who's been very good in the Super League the first 2 outings. Tonight just didn't have his best stuff. Walked a batter, hit a batter, and gave up a few hits and a big home run to Ben Andrews.
He was hitless in his first 2 outings through 4 innings, and unfortunately didn't end that way. But as you're right, baseball's like that. Pitchers will have a great game, then they'll have a poor one. It's game-by-game proposition, sometimes even a pitch-by-pitch proposition, as that one is fouled away. So who would you suspect is going to close it out for the Wasps? Because, of course, they brought in Wilson, so that should give them a pitcher spare here. Would it be Brebner Russ, maybe? Is he still out there somewhere?
Well, Brebner Russ and Travers are both still in left and center. They're the big firearms in the back end of the bullpen.
So a firearm, is that someone who can throw the heat fastball? Is that the theory?
Both of them probably throw. Oh, there's a good fastball, 85, and delay steal. Great throw by Tom McGarry and good pick by Dennis Christensen to catch.
That was a great pick by Chris. I reckon he fumbled in the middle of that somewhere. We might see that on the Black Chrome replay.
We'll see some good hands on the replay hopefully here. Have a nice little short hop and collecting the body and slapping the tag down.
The Crushers, after getting a man on the tide, and Hernandez. That must have been a strikeout as well. Strikeout and then the throw-out double play.
Yes, it was a strikeout throw. Good fastball, 86-mile-an-hour fastball by Tom Fitzgerald, just up in the zone. Up in the zone, Hernandez swung through.
As you can see, folks, beautiful night here in Adelaide. The lights are on. We'll be, shadows just starting to creep across the pitcher's mound now. We'll have one of those glorious sunsets here by the beach. The background there, you can see the Adelaide Hills. Been doing a few burn-offs today, so there's been a bit of smoke around, which caused a little bit of panic, but no, just planned burn-offs. With the weather this good, they want to burn off some vegetation, because bushfires are a big thing here in Adelaide. Not so much the city, but certainly up in the hills, which is just a 10-15 minute drive away. We're here at Benefield in West Beach. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Game ticking along nicely, 75 minutes in. So by my calculations, we've got 35 minutes to get in the 7th. And I think we've got a decent chance of that. Of course, baseball being baseball can change on the toss of a coin. Dennis Christensen will come to the plate. Geordie Gross will be on the hill. Again, to just think ahead, your tip, Clippers and Calf later on today?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We got 2 0-2 teams that are looking to get in the win column. The Clippers certainly would have wanted a little bit better. They do have a very good hitting roster, and the Carp have a fairly young group of talented Adelaide kids who battle seem every game.
Might just be a scenario where the Carp, where I think they're the team that's going to get better the longer it goes. Certainly saw some improvement. They were clearly outplayed by the Crushers in week 1 and almost stole it in the 5th last week. And I'll be interested to see what they can do with the Clippers this week as they start to gel more as a unit.
Yeah, last week they had many opportunities to put runs across. They just couldn't. Once they got the runners on base, they just couldn't bang them home. So it's, as a young squad, that is something that they will have to learn a little bit. Christensen fouls one off just over the first base dugout. Falls behind 1 and 2.
Dennis Christensen is mentioned with the Goodwood Indians. Played in 27 of their games last year, averaged 263.95 at bats. 15 RBI. Certainly can hit them far and wide. At the moment, it's more wide than far. As he goes down 1-2 in the count. Trying to put something in the diamond here.
Christensen had the 263 average, like you mentioned, but he is one of the better hitters over in Goodwood. Definitely puts the ball in play almost every at bat. And as I say that, he swings through a high fastball for a strikeout tonight.
And if I've read that right, that might be the first strikeout that Gross has thrown thus far, working into his second innings of work.
Yeah, he came in and put out the fire like they were hoping last inning. There were a couple runs that came in that weren't his, but he got them out of big trouble. And this inning, he's gone in just filling it up. He's just throwing fastballs for strikes.
So a young Tiger here, Tyson Arnold, who was pick number 59, the 15th round.
1-on-1.
Each team had 4 marquee players to select and then 17 rounds in the big draft at the Highway. We thank them for their hospitality. It was so good, we're going back for a mid-season draft.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just as we're getting in and getting to know all these players. We got another mid-season draft coming up, so there'll be a couple new marquee players added, and we'll see if some end up coming out with other commitments that they have as well. And there's another fastball that Gross is just putting by these hitters right now for his second straight strikeout of the inning.
So struck out swinging. Go back to Travis Taylor at the top, and Wasps will be starting to count their outs now. There's 7 outs left if this game goes the distance, and they're trailing by 4. Travis facing empty bases, 2 out. And so what do? You bunt, or attempt to bunt.
That's the second time today he's tried to lay one down.
Yeah.
Both times for him unsuccessful, put him foul. Trying to use that speed, trying to get on base. He knows that even if he puts one out of here, it's one run is going to just cut the lead down to 3 instead of 4. So he's trying to get on base for the big hitters hitting behind him.
Yeah, as my colleague Fraser Fife would say, it is slammable at the moment. It's within a grand slam 4 runs, but of course, to make that happen, you've got to get him on base first. And with 2 outs, that's tricky, as that one is fouled up. Gives a chance of it. Actually, it's Herrera. It's going to be right on the third baseline. Herrera's up for the task. He will retire the Wasps in the 5th. 3 up, 3 down. Gross is doing the job for the Crushers. We go to the 6th. It is the JSR Wasps 2, the Denmark Crushers 6. This is Super League Baseball Adelaide.
Gary, check that out.
Goodwood defeated East Torrance 9-3. And look no further. The Eagles are on the board with a win with an 11-5 victory over Golden Grove.
JSR Plumbing and Maintenance are proud new sponsors of the Wasps. Each week they'll award one player with the Wasp of the Week. The Wasp of the Week. For block drains, leaking toilets or taps, filter installation, hot water service repair, burst pipes, bathroom renovations, and all residential plumbing. It sounds like my house. Contact Jono at JSR Plumbing today. Great to have them on board. And of course, the Denmark Crushers. Denmark is a full-service electronic component and peripherals distributor. I wonder what a peripheral is. But anyway, they are proud to sponsor the Crushers. They supply the most well-known brands from around the world. The team at Denmark has been at the core of electronic component distribution for 20 years. And on behalf of Baseball SA, we thank them for their wonderful support of this new innovative competition.
It's great to see local businesses getting involved as well with the sponsorships, and then we'll see later. We'll see the Sweet Amber Ale Clippers. We do still have the Carp, who are the one team without a sponsor.
I reckon it has to be Capo Seafood or Paul's Seafood Restaurant, or.
Well, we'll definitely be looking for anyone who's interested to take on the Carp. We can come up with a catchy little name for you too.
Could be the Goolwa Hotel, which I know plenty of carp down at Goolwa, where my parents are in the river. We go back to some baseball, where it is the 6th inning, and if Ben Andrews, the home run king, won last week. He waits for the guest to come up. He impressed Dunny last week, impressed Tank today.
Yeah, last week I was doing an interview with with Dunny, and Andrews went deep over the left field fence. Today it was with Tank, and he went deep over that left field fence again.
Came into today slugging 1,000 in this competition. He's had 4 more bases from 2 at-bats, so he's over 1,000 slugging. And his average was 428. That's going to be probably up right now around the 450 mark. And the other thing is, he's not a first pitch swinger either. He has shown some great patience at the plate. He's up 3-1 in the count. We're just checking out who the new pitcher is, by the way.
It looks like it's Matt Watkins in again for the.
It is
for the JSR Plumbing Wasp. This will be his 3rd appearance, and he starts off with a walk. The first week out, he was really good. He threw nothing but strikes. Got a couple strikeouts. Last week, he looked a little tired. He had the game on Sunday, which he had thrown 7 shutout innings, which for the Goodwood Indians, did a great job there. And then he looked a little tired and couldn't find the strike zone with his curveball. Here it looks like he got a little zip back on that fastball. The curveball looks sharp, and he just missed the zone just a little bit off on a few of those pitches there.
Jeremy Creswell at bat, puts that one straight towards second. Dennis Christensen, here's the double play attempt, but didn't get the throw away. So leadoff man in Andrews is out. Creswell gets on, I guess, with the fielder's choice here. Watkins, coming into this game, the Wasps were the #1 pitching team, only gave up 4 earned runs, all 4 given up by Watkins. All the other pitchers hadn't considered earned run. 2 against the Clippers, 2 against the Cart. But he did have a good outing last Sunday. He's with the Goodwood Indians. He was the closer as the Indians got up over the Red Sox of East Torrens Payneham.
Yeah, fastball just missed a little bit high there to Nick Talbot. One of the things you see with pitchers that if they are tired, the curveballs do hang a little bit and everything misses up, which is what he was doing last week. Today he definitely looked sharp. You mentioned him being the closer, so less pitches on the arm a couple days ago only.
So talk me through the physics of a hanging curveball. So obviously curveball, it's thrown, it's supposed to drop. So what about the tiredness makes it stay up longer? Is it just not as much rotation on the ball because you're tired?
Yeah, I don't want to. There's good fastball inside. Talbot tries to check his swing. Don't want to say that he's lazy, but the arm does get lazy, and that's just being your body being tired. You have, as a pitcher, in your mind, you're throwing it as best you can. You're trying to do it as best you can, but it's a solid single to center field by Nick Talbot.
I wasn't talking so much about Watkins in particular, but just you often see, he left it hanging a curveball, and I'm just wondering what's different than the normal curveball that the pitcher's trying. You're saying it's sometimes just the tiredness in the arm, it's harder to get that rotations right, and it just doesn't sink as fast.
Exactly, yeah. The snap in the wrist to get on top of a ball, to get that downward motion in rotation, just isn't quite as strong.
Alrighty, you're here with Phil Hooden and the Professor of Pitching, Rob Ushi. Great to have Rob part of our team this year. Double play chance here for the Wasps, and that will do it second time around. So Sims hits into the double play. 1 on, not out. The one all out, I should say. And well, after giving up, it's really been about that 5 runs. I mean, Tank comes along, there's 5 runs, he goes, hasn't been much since.
Yeah, if you look at the scoreboard, it's 6 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Dunmar Crushers, 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 error for the JSR Plumbing Wasps. So I mean, there hasn't been lots of hits. There's been base runners through a couple walks and hit by pitches, but they've taken advantage, and it was just the 1 inning which the Crushers were able to get to the Wasp pitching and take advantage.
Well, we mentioned another sponsor, which is perched on the main strip of seafood. Oh, start again. Lots of S's in this one, Rob. Perched on the main strip of Seaside Village Semaphore, Sweet Amber Brew Cafe is inspired by and is an ode to beer. Beer is everywhere. Empty bottles grace the shelves. The fridges are lined top to bottom with it. The 4 taps pour it. The chef uses it in all of her recipes. Go say hi to the folks at the Sweet Amber Brew Cafe next time you're in Semaphore, or grab one right behind home plate right now. So definitely, Rob, you would have, in your time here, checked out the various beaches along the coastline here and enjoyed some time up at Semaphore?
Oh, I've enjoyed time at all the beaches, Semaphore, Henley Beach, down in Glenelg here. It's definitely some of the best aspects of Adelaide that I like coming back to every year.
Any one particular one that's your favourite?
It's a good say. I do like the one in Glenelg. There's lots of people, always lots of stuff going on. The volleyball courts, we've got the jetty and good food. But the Henley Beach area is really nice because it's a little more quieter than the others, and you get to enjoy a little bit of the sand and sun a little quieter.
No, I agree with all of that. And certainly when I was away, spent some 6 years up in Queensland, it was the beach at the bay that I would often end up. My favourite little place there, not there anymore, used to sell Euroses called the Lamb Spit that I used to always, when I came home with that would be the place I'd head to.
Sounds delicious. I am a fan of the Lamb Euros, that's for sure.
Alrighty, back we come to some baseball. And it is...
Looks like we have another change here for the Crushers. They brought in their closer, Wojtek pitching change. Anthony Herrera has moved from third base to the mound. High chopper to the new third baseman, Ben Andrews, over to first. Easy 5-3 put up. When we have Ben Andrews, the home run hitter, who's played, we talked about him playing all over the field, third position in three games. He's now got his fourth position. He's over at third base.
He is the utility man for sure. So what's happened is Herrera's gone from third to pitcher. Andrews has gone from right to third, and McMillan has come in to field it right under the scoreboard. Stephen Welsh comes to the plate.
Anthony Herrera from the United States, from McKinney, Texas. A little sidearm thrower.
Texan.
He's got a nice little running fastball and a good slider. It comes inside.
Well,
low mid 80s and high 70s for his off speed.
High quality baseball. Not much normal about him, except last 2 seasons he has played for the normal Corn Belters. As Welsh belts that one to the bleachers. They're a team in the Frontier League, which is about as independent as you get in independent baseball, the old Frontier League.
Yeah, it's one of the good independent leagues in North America. It's a lot of younger players, a lot of players right out of college, and a little different than, say, the American Association or the Atlantic League, which has some players that have some major league experience. These are the ones that are really trying to come up and make a name for themselves.
We had a player from Woodville called Ben Lodge who played with the Frontier Greys. Now they were a team, because a team pulled out, they had an odd number, so they just put together this team that always played on the road. Didn't have any fans, no stadium, always on a bus, and it was one of the most incredible baseball. It's probably about the lowest of the low being of any sort of professional baseball. But then of course a new team came in, not needed anymore. Sorry guys.
It definitely sounds fun. I enjoy bus trips and visiting, going to different stadiums all the time. There's a great slider from Herrera. Started outside, came in and got the veteran Steph Welsh looking.
No easy feat. Gets more interesting. Gallagher comes to the play. He's got on base both times, single to second, and error through first base his last at bat. So in the French League, of course, you're with the I'm going to get it wrong again. The Averns, aka the Vikings, Div 2 in the French League.
The Avren of Clermont-Ferrand.
Clermont, that's right. So they were weekend bus trips?
Pretty much, yeah. Took a couple little vans because every city we played in was about 5 hours away. So you leave Friday afternoon, Friday evening, travel, and then stay Saturday, play doubleheader Sunday, and then come home after the game.
Yeah. Not a bad way to spend a weekend. I guess after if you played the doubleheader on the Sunday.
Yeah, you play the doubleheader. You couldn't play the midweek games like we had an opportunity to here in Adelaide because everybody is just too far from each other. Where here, all 13 clubs are fairly close. It's a big swing and a foul ball like Gallagher.
I mean, you were playing in a national league, whereas this is a city suburban competition.
Yeah, a lot of the European cities are very similar. You get in Germany, it's a very good, strong German league, the Bundesliga, and it's the same type of thing where there's a lot of travel.
3-1.
Yeah.
Herrera keeps staying away from Gallagher here. Afraid of coming in, getting something hit deep, but
he's now going to deal with it
With
somehow.
a 4-run lead, he's going to have to come in here.
Let's see if he's got some heat here.
Ball.
And that is a walk. So Herrera started with the ground out and the strikeout, but Gallagher's got on base. His on-base percentage looking a bit better tonight. On base 3 times.
He'll be a little happier with that, getting on base. Get on base here and see if Bones Hamley can hit another one out like he did last week and get this a little bit closer for last inning or so.
Big home run hitter. Is ground now completely bathed in shadow, and the lights will slowly but surely take their effect. Flew to right and flew to centre. 4-run ball game. So we are in the 6th of 7. Time so far good, 90 minutes in.
Big swing and throw down second. Get Gallagher stealing.
Just got the back of the shirt. So we're seeing a few more attempted steals of second, but not with the greatest deal of success. It remains the Denmark Crushers 6, the JSR Plumbing Wasps 2. This, thanks to Spacequake Sports, is Super League Baseball Adelaide.
Specialised knowledge, ability to deliver and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship.
Welcome back, folks, to the 7th we go, and we'd like to thank the great support of Voitech. We do have a change on the hill. We'll tell you about that shortly. Voitech is a proud South Australian telecommunications company providing landline, high-speed internet and mobile phone services for business. They promise 3 things. They will save you money, they'll provide an abundance of functionality, and they will excel in local service. In summary, Voitech, just do it better. For more information, visit voitech.com.au. We've got to the 7th. We will play the full game tonight. Let's see if the Crushers, Rob, can add some more insurance runs.
Yeah, Wasps look like they've made the Voitech call to the bullpen here. They brought in Bremner Russ. First pitch, ground ball, light body, backhands up, big throw over first, 1 out.
Very quick indeed. We do have a question on the live field chat from our favourite Queenslander, Glenn Long. Glenn wants to know, does our Premier Local League play 2 games a week plus this Super League game? And the answer is not normally, but occasionally.
The Super League is actually this year taking place of the midweek game up until
January.
So the season ends, there's a fastball outside corner, strike 1. Super League will go until the end of December, when the championship, and then when we come back from our little holiday break, it'll be the SABL will be back into the Sunday games and the midweek Tuesday or Wednesday games as well.
No doubt about it, there's plenty of baseball to be played, and when we were talking to one of the general managers last week, they were fully expecting to have the bite players playing Wednesday night before they travel with the bite for a full weekend series starting on the Thursday night.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit extra at bats for some of the players who are looking for it. Guys that are probably going to be a little sore or tired, they'll get the option to not play, because these rosters are very, very deep, and we do have another marquee draft happening in another week. There's another opportunity for light body, backhand snare, quick over first. Good pick by first baseman Gallagher. Great play at both ends for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yes, great pickup. That was a harder one than the... wasn't quite the instant replay of the first, but it was pretty close. Light Bloody showing he can flash the leather.
Might probably be a player that Bite fans will be happy to see back this year. He missed last year, like I said earlier. He was off at college. Had a great year over there. Now he's back this summer for his another shot with the Adelaide team.
Good to see that as someone who's come up through Aussie Rules footy, I am just always amazed by the opportunities to those that get signed professionally in college. As we've got the third grounder, 1, 2, 3 go the Crushers down, but they do have the 4-run lead. And the Wasps have 3 outs left to do something about it. Bottom of the 7th coming up. A reminder, just under an hour from now, game 2, Fraser Fife will join Rob, and I think Eric Borno is our special guest who'll give you all the exciting news around baseball, let's say, and some of the exciting promotions probably that the Bite are going to come up with this year.
Yeah, we'll be talking to Eric in the 3rd inning in the 2nd game, and it'll be all about some of the stuff that's happening around Adelaide Field and with the Adelaide Bite this summer.
We do thank Wojtek for their great support. The Highway, Black Chrome with all the replays, Spacequake Sports giving you all the pictures, and great support across the board. Plus we mentioned Dunmark, JSR Plumbing and Sweet Amber Cafe, who are supporting the various teams. The new concept, Super League Baseball, a nice way to spend a Wednesday night. I mean, baseball's on. Doesn't matter what time of the week, if there's baseball on, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's been a good day to watch the World Series games, which start at 10:30 here at Adelaide time, and watch that game, and then come here and watch this game.
So I still don't know who won in the World Series today.
Today was the first Boston Red Sox won game 1, 8-4. It was a good back and forth game. Both teams scored runs in the 1st and 2nd innings. And big pinch hit home run by Edward Nunez, 3-run homer, extended from 5-4 to 8-4, and pretty much put a cap in the game in the 7th inning.
Yeah, look, I've got to admit, since my Milwaukee Brewers got eliminated, it's just been too hurtful to even bother this year so far. I might have a look at it. This is Hamley back. Of course, there was an out at 2nd in the middle of his at-bat. I have picked that one up so far, Rob, that if there's an out around the plate, you do get to come back and finish your at-bat.
Yeah, Gallagher got caught stealing to end the 6th inning, and now Bones Hambley rifles one just outside the glove of Ben Andrews down the line for a double.
Well, the Wasps have got 4 runs to chase, and that's a good way to start off. And 3rd time tonight, they've had a lead-off, at least 3rd time tonight, they've had a lead-off player get on. First time they struggled to score, got one over in the 4th. They need a few more in the 7th.
It's been their plague tonight. They haven't been able to get the runners in that they've had on base, and if they end up falling behind in this game, that's going to be what hampers it.
So with Bremner Ross going on the hill, that frees up a hole. Suzuki, his first at-bat at Super League Baseball. We saw him as a pinch runner at 2nd before. As mentioned, he's a high school student from Japan studying at Seton High School. And, well, one thing Japan and Australia do share is a love of baseball. Maybe not quite the same extent here as in Japan, where I was actually there December last year, Rod, and it's an amazing culture. And at this time of year, baseball very much a part of it. Again, my heart broken in the play. Does that one come back right at her ear, who caught that with superb reflexes. And Suzuki, well, hit the ball hard. You feel a little bit robbed, I reckon. Oh, absolutely. That was a line drive off the bat by Suzuki, right at the pitcher. It's a little more of save your life reflexes, but Hurd was a middle infielder, so he does have those quick reflexes from college. But great play from the pitcher there. Tom McGarry, ground out to short last at bat, single to right in his first. He's well, it's not just a case of getting Hamley home. He's got to probably get on base himself and find a couple of others to do something about this 4-run deficit. 2 outs only to play with. We've got a 1-1 count. Yeah, I mentioned my Milwaukee Brewers lost in Game 7 and the decider in the NLCS. My Japanese team, the Ponham Fighters, so that was on the outside. They made it to the playoffs and lost in a deciding game as well to the SoftBank Hawks. So they're not far away from their Japan series.
Yeah, and we'll possibly see a couple of those players from Japan. Ooh, fastball inside. McGarry's just able to get out of the way through one, joining some of the ABL teams this season.
Well, we did see the Cebu Lions have the sort of regular relationship with the Melbourne Aces. Some players come down for the first half of the season. Japanese spring training does start that little bit earlier than in the States, so they have to go back earlier. So we've now got ourselves a full count. Haven't actually had too many full counts tonight.
Well, players have been fairly aggressive, putting balls in play. The one or two walks, 1 or 2 hit by pitches. And McGarry's just looking to get on base here to extend it for his teammate.
So I should add, with 1 on and 1 out, we have what I call a 1-pitch warning. It's a new thing I'm trying to bring into the vernacular, which means that basically double play, next pitch, this one's over.
Well, that if we see another line drive here, it is possible.
Exactly. If the player at second's led too far. This one's a play to first, which will eventually Herrera will do his own washing. That'll be out number 2. Hamley advances to third. Double play never in consideration. Dennis Christensen comes in and he is the Wasps' last hope.
Yeah, down 6-2, 2 outs in the 7th inning. Looking to extend the game here, get on base, move the line along for the next batter of their team.
Next week, the Crushers will be back in the early game. They love the early slot, playing the Carp. Wasps will take on the Clippers. Both games second time around.
Ball one.
Looks like it'll be a rematch from week 1 when the Dunbar Crushers were able to get ahead of the Carp 7-1.
Of course, one game to fulfill the round robin will be 45 minutes time. As Christensen hits that hard. Which side of the foul pole is it? Looks to be foul. It is. That's probably the biggest hit we've seen tonight.
Yeah, he got a hold of that one. Even when Andrews hit his home run earlier, it didn't quite have the height that Christensen got a hold of that one. Unlucky for him that it was just a little bit too ahead of it and pulled it foul.
So here's the pitch, that one in low, and that's called a strike. He swung through it.
It's a good follow-up pitch.
Yeah,
good follow-up pitch there by Herrera. Got the fastball inside, and Christensen turned on it, and then he went to the slider away. Looks like he's coming again.
Crushes a strike away, and there it is. Swing and a miss. And after 2 scoreless innings, a 5-run third proved conclusive. And your Dunbar Crushers are victorious and are the only undefeated team left in the Super League. Dunbar Crushers 6, JSR Plumbing Wasps 2. Rob, the Crushers, well, they've played everyone, they've beaten everyone. Can they be stopped this Super League season?
You called it earlier. They were the team that you picked tonight. They're making believers out of me. This team-oriented offense where everybody's involved and it's everybody's scoring runs, everybody's getting hits is definitely catching on, and some of the other teams might have to try to adopt to it.
All right, Rob, thank you. Of course, you will be back for the second game. Fraser Fife is fueling up as we speak with the loaded fries. This is Phil Hurd on behalf of the great Space Quake Sports team. We're going to take a break, be back in 45 minutes. Final score, Dunbar Crushers 6, JSR Plumbing Wasps 2. We'll be back from Bennett Field.